Depending on the type of trip you're going to be taking, choosing the right suitcase can make or break your adventure. If you choose the right suitcase, you're gonna have a wonderful, stress-free trip. If you choose the wrong suitcase, you might have a nightmarish misadventure. This video is being sponsored by Nomad Lane, their Bento bag, and this video is everything that you need to know between hard-sided and soft-sided luggage. You are gonna be able to make an informed decision after this video because I'm going to be sharing the pros and cons for both hard-sided versus soft-sided. I'm Kim, the abundant traveler. I've been to more than 65 countries and lived in 5, and I have so much experience and misadventures for having the wrong luggage and the right luggage. So let's go ahead and get started with the most obvious things about the two suitcases. Number 1 are the materials, and number 2 are the openings and the way they are shaped. With the openings, the hard-sided is a clamshell, so it opens like this with a 50, basically a 50-50 on each side, so you can pack less stuff on each side and then close it together. The soft-sided, on the other hand, is more like a lid of a pot, and that lid of a pot you can pack very deeply. The thing is, with the hard-sided, it's typically a little more organized because you can only put things on half the side and it's not as deep, whereas the soft-sided, because you can go so deep, you can actually make a mess of your suitcase. So if you're going to be using soft-sided, I do recommend that you use packing cubes or some type of an additional organization. If you're enjoying this video, then make sure to like and subscribe so YouTube will share this video with other travelers just like you. Also, make sure to leave a comment below of your tips and what you like, whether it's soft-sided. Now let's talk about the materials. Hard-sided are made of polypropylene, polycarbonate, or this long drawn out thing called ABS. The most durable and the heaviest is polycarbonate. Polypropylene is not quite as durable and it is very lightweight. So if you're looking for super lightweight, then the polypropylene is probably the best way to go for a hard-sided suitcase. On the flip side, a soft-sided suitcase is actually made of nylon. Sometimes it's actually made of parachute material, cordura. There are different products that make soft-sided suitcases. And the advantages of these materials, well, on the hard-sided, it is more durable. It's gonna withstand more impact. It's also easier to clean, but the hard-sided suitcases also crack and chip very easily. They get scuffed very easily. So if you're looking for a hard-sided suitcase, make sure you get a scratch-resistant material, not the super shiny ones. The super shiny hard-sided suitcase are so easy to scratch. They look beat up after your first trip, especially if you're using it as checked luggage. On the other hand, the soft-sided with the nylon and the cordura, that is a wonderful, it can stretch, you can pack more things. So ladies, if you're interested in packing more things, it's probably the soft-sided that you want to use. The downside of those materials, number 1, if it's raining outside and your luggage is stuck on the tarmac, or you're having to go from point A to point B and you're dragging your suitcase and it's pouring rain, guess what? All of your things inside your suitcase, if you're carrying a soft-sided luggage, is going to get wet. If you have hard-sided luggage, then perhaps a little bit of wetness around the zipper is all that's going to happen, and the likelihood is that hard-sided is going to keep your belongings very, very dry. I want to thank Nomad Lane for sponsoring this video. They have a beautiful bento bag. It is stunning with so many hidden pockets. You can carry your valuables, you can carry your sunglasses and your jewelry, your passport, etc. One of the unique features is that it zips all the way around and opens up completely flat, sort of like a clamshell of a hard-sided suitcase. And it is big enough that if you are careful, you could probably go an entire weekend just with this bag. It is a beautiful personal item bag and it fits seamlessly over most carry-on luggages. 2 of my favorite features of this bag include the zippered outside water bottle pocket. The best part about it is when you don't have a water bottle, you can zip it up and you don't even know that it's there. The other feature that I absolutely love is the external trolley sleeve. So when you have your carry-on bag, you can just slide over the bento bag right over the top. But the best part about this particular trolley sleeve is the fact that it has a zipper at the bottom, so you can zip it up and use it as an additional external pocket if you're not using it over the top of your carry-on. Whether you're headed to a long haul flight or a business meeting, this bento bag is absolutely perfect. It is stylish and sophisticated and looks really good on your arm. If you're interested in purchasing this bag, then go to the description below as well as a pinned comment. There is a unique discount code just for you for watching this video. So go down there and make sure to check out this beautiful, beautiful bag and order one for yourself as well as one for a friend. If you like sleek and attractive, then perhaps a hard-sided suitcase is better for you. One, when you're at home, they're easier to stack in a closet. The downside of that is if you live in a small space, perhaps a soft-sided is better for you because usually the soft-sided suitcases will squish down a little bit more than the hard-sided. You can look at the hard-sided here. It is durable and it is hard, but it is not going to give if you live in a small space and have to squish your suitcase into a small area. One of the disadvantages of the durability though is the airlines tend to crack the suitcases. They tend to break them and crack them much easier on a hard-sided suitcase than they do on a soft-sided. So me personally, in all of my years of traveling, perhaps I've had a ripped soft-sided suitcase once, but I can tell you on the hard-sided like this one, I have had to replace them every couple of years because the airlines are so hard on them, and I will pick up my suitcase about once every 2 years and there's a huge crack across the side of the suitcase. One advantage of the hard-sided suitcase is the TSA lock on the zippers. Some soft-sided suitcases do have locks for their zippers, but the TSA lock is usually a feature of only hard-sided suitcases. It's great. You can lock up your luggage so you don't get anything stolen during your travels, and the TSA guys can check it if they need to check out what's in your suitcase. So yes, that's an advantage for a hard-sided suitcase. To me, another advantage of a hard-sided suitcase is the 4 spinner wheels. I really like having 4 wheels on my suitcase. That's just a personal preference. Some of the soft-sided suitcases do have 4 wheels, but a lot of them just have 2 wheels. Those 2 wheels you actually pull behind you, and when you're walking through the airport, you're gonna be dragging your bag behind you. When you have the 4 spinner wheels, you're either pulling it by your side or you're pushing it in front of you. So it's just your personal preference whether you have 4 wheels or 2 wheels. For me personally, I do like having the 4 wheels and I do like pushing them in front of me, which is typically an advantage of a hard-sided suitcase since all hard-sided suitcases do have those 4 wheels. Or hard-sided, and why you love that type of suitcase. Before I continue on with the differences between hard and soft-sided, let's give a couple of pro tips. Number 1, make sure that that handle, no matter whether it's hard or soft-sided, is tall enough for you. I'm 5'11", and some of the handles don't pull up high enough for me. I feel like I'm leaning over like this just to drag the bag either in front of me or beside me or behind me. Additionally, when you are going to buy a piece of luggage, make sure to bring your personal item bag with you to the store because you want to slide that personal item bag over the handle and knock that suitcase around to make sure that it doesn't fall over. So many suitcases are not stable when you put your personal item bag and slide it over the handle. And you definitely don't want to be traipsing through the airport with your bag falling over every time you stop to go to the bathroom or to buy a coffee. A couple of the things that I think are pros for the soft-sided luggage. 1, it has an outside zipper. 99% of soft-sided bags have an outside zipper, and a lot of them actually have 2. The top small zipper, you can actually put your documents in, your passport, if you're using it as a carry-on. The bigger zipper, you can put an extra pair of shoes because, again, soft-sided luggage is very deep, one compartment, and you may have an extra pair of shoes that are dirty, so you can slide it in that front pocket. Most hard-sided suitcases, on the other hand, don't have an outside pocket, which can be challenging if you want to carry your computer or documents, etc. Some of the new hard-sided suitcases do have an outside pocket, and now for me, every suitcase that I buy that is hard-sided, I'm going to make sure that it has an outside pocket. Another advantage, in my opinion, of the soft-sided is the fact that you can overstuff it, which is amazing. You can overstuff a soft-sided suitcase. I always feel I can stuff in more in that soft-sided suitcase, and also it gives more. So if you're buying a lot of trinkets, etc. on your vacation, and then perhaps you can stuff in more into your soft-sided suitcase. Now, on the flip side, if you're buying a lot of trinkets and bringing a lot of things back with you, perhaps a hard-sided suitcase is better for you because it gives more protection to your valuables and the things that you buy. So it is more durable with a hard-sided, but you can overstuff it if it's a soft-sided. Now let's talk about something that can be extremely embarrassing if you're in the airport or somewhere traveling around. A hard-sided suitcase with its clamshell opening means that if you have to get into your suitcase, you have to lay your suitcase down, possibly on the dirty floor or in the dirt, and then unzip the entire suitcase and then open it up, and you are providing everything in your suitcase on show for anybody that wants to look. That is a huge disadvantage of a hard-sided suitcase. On the flip side, a soft-sided, normally you can just open up the top of the zipper just along the top and sort of pull it open and dig down into that soft-sided suitcase and pull out what you need. So it is a huge advantage the way it opens on a soft-sided suitcase if you don't want to embarrass yourself in an airport and open up your suitcase and have to pull out everything before you check your bag or before you throw it in the overhead bin. So before you buy that next piece of luggage, think about what you're going to be doing with it. Is it going to be a carry-on? Well, for me, I actually have, you can see behind me, I have two Travel Pro carry-ons, and I will link those in the description. One is hard-sided and one is soft-sided, and sometimes I want to take as a carry-on hard-sided and sometimes soft-sided. It really depends on what I'm doing with it. Again, hard-sided is harder and more durable and easier to carry around. However, it is heavier typically and usually doesn't stuff as much stuff. Whereas the soft-sided as a carry-on will squish into that overhead compartment. Even if it is overstuffed, it's just a little easier to drag around in my opinion. Both of mine are 4 wheels. I am a firm believer in 4 wheels. I don't want to drag a bag behind me. If you're going to be checking your bag, that is something completely different. Checked bag, I prefer hard-sided all of the time, and I have the large version of this. I just like the durability because that poor piece of luggage is being thrown all over the place, and I want to protect my belongings, all the things that I put in that suitcase, and I just feel that a hard-sided suitcase protects my things a little bit more than a soft-sided, and I definitely don't want my suitcase sitting on the tarmac or on one of those conveyor belts when it is monsooning in some exotic location. Those are my opinions of what to buy and when to buy it, depending on how you're going to be using it. So do I think there's a clear winner between hard-sided and soft-sided? Actually, no. It just depends on what you're doing. I have both carry-on and check luggage for hard-sided and soft-sided. So again, let me know what you think and what your opinion is. I'm Kim, the Abundant Traveler. Make sure to check out this video of everything that I put in my carry-on, and I can't wait to see you on some amazing adventure very, very soon. Thanks so much and take care.